start record. Okay, so let me explain the basic terminology which is used especially for the databases. Okay, so first one is before know about databases, you must know about what is data. Okay, so what is data? Tell me about yourself. If I ask the question about you, tell me about yourself means so what are the information you can given to me? Yes, everybody. What are the informations given to me? If I ask the question, tell me about yourself. Yes. Yes, everybody. If I ask the question about, tell me about yourself means what are the answers you can given to me? Okay, age, name, yes, exactly. Name, background. These are the information. These are the data. Okay. So thank you so much for your response. Okay. Is it my screen is visible to you, everybody? Yes, is it my screen is visible to everybody? No. Come again?
Not visible.
Okay, 1 minute. Visible. Okay, thank you so much.
No
Okay,
slide.
so because because the challenge which we face always for online teaching is if you interact means even I also satisfied. Okay, so I'm talking to human. Otherwise, I feel I'm always talking to the computer only. Okay, so please, whenever you come across any questions, means please stop my teaching and then ask the question. Okay, so coming to first term. Okay, that is a data. So data means data is a raw, unprocessed facts or figure without any context. Okay, for example, name of the particular students, age of the students, designation of the students. Okay, so these are the informations. Okay, so coming to that is a data becomes a information. If you go for
Sorry, I can't see the slide.
okay, 1 minute, ma. Is it my screen is visible to everybody?
Not yet. No, it seems like you're not sharing.
No.
Not. 1 minute.
Oh, now yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, now it's
Okay.
visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so just to talk about the first term, data. Okay, 1 minute. So first to talk about the term data. So data means data becomes information. So it is organized as well as a meaningful. Okay, so for example, if I ask information about you, about yourself means you give the information about your name, age, date of birth. These are the different kind of data. So it all is organized as well as a meaningful one. Okay, so understand everybody what is data? Yes, any question?
Yes, understand.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Talk about the database. Okay, so database means a organized collection of data that can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. So, for example, I am going to store the employee informations to the particular position. Okay, like a folder. Okay, so folder which consists of files, files which consist of the information. Similar, so database means that is an organized collection of data. So why we are going to organize the collection of data means in order to easily to access, in order to, if I want to get the information means I open the file and then get the information. If I want to modify the file information means I go for open the file, modify the information. So similar, if you want to access, manage, manage means for example, if you want to insert, delete, otherwise modifications means so you can go for you do for the database. So database like a digital filing cabinet. Okay. So coming to the database management system. Okay. So my data organized in the particular position. So why you are going to organize in the collection of data means in order to manage. So manage in the term of we can go for a creating, storing, retrieving, as well as a modification, modifying, deletion. So everything come under the database management system. So I go for the software that allowed to do all the management for my stored data means that is called it for database management system. Okay. So these are the popular database management system. So Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL Server, that is a MySQL, Oracle. So even there is a open source software also available, paid software also available. So generally open source software is freely available. So you can go for downloading from the internet and then install to your computer. Okay, and then use. So some DBMS, which is a paid one, you pay the software, then download and then use. Okay, so this is called it for database management system. Okay, so now the terms which we are going to discuss about the relational database. Okay, so database is okay. We are going to managing the data in the database. So with using the software, what is mean by relational database? So relational database means the data which is stored like tables. So tables means which is stored in rows as well as a column. Okay. So the column title, see the example, student ID, student name, age. Okay, let me do the one table here. So see the example here. This is a one small example for a relational database. So here we are going to define the column title. So that is called it for attribute. So student ID, name, age, and then course. Okay. So here 1 Iman 22 Python. This is called it for rows. Column and then rows. Table which consists of column and then rows. Okay. So column is called it for a attribute. So row is called it for tuple. Okay, so coming to this one, so I want to fetch the student information. So the row of information, the complete set of information about the student. Student ID, name, age, and then course. Okay, so this is called it for a each and every record. That is a row is called it for a record. Column is called it for field. So table which consists of fields as well as records. So that is called it for relational database. Relational database means that is stored a table, stored data in tables. Okay. So coming to the relational database management system. Okay. So table wise, the data is stored. So in this data stored, so what we are going to make the relations. Okay, for example, so here we cannot put all the information into the single table. I make the separate table. For example, I go for creating table which is used to store student personal information like a student name, student's father's information, date of birth, and then address, phone number, email address, like that. So if I talk about the student's marks details, I purely go for student ID, student name, and then mark 1, mark 2 for their subjects. So I make a different tables. So when I get the information about the students means I combine the both table and then go for do the analysis. Otherwise, report generation. So this is called for relational database management system. So these are the basic terminology which is used for a database. Okay, so database, database management system, a relational database management system. So these are the main terminology which is used here. Okay, now talk about the our SQL Server. So SQL Server is a Microsoft product. So SQL Server is a one kind of relational database management system. Okay, so what is mean by SQL means the expansion for SQL is a structured query language. So this is structured query language which is used to communicate to your database. So using this structured query language, I go for a fetching information from database. I go for modify the information to my database. I am going to insert information to database. If I want to do any filtering from my data means I go for using this language. So this structured query language means the data is organized as a structured one. Okay, so before you are going to storing the data, I define one table, the table which consists of that is columns which is mentioned for what kind of data which is stored on the particular rows. Okay, for example, if I go for defining student ID is a number column means I can go for storing ID as a only number. If I define student name as a string data types means I go for storing only not only alphabets, I go for storing alphabets, numeric, special symbol, white spaces, everything on the particular call. That is a particular data. Okay. So this is called it for relational database management system. Okay. So generally, when talk about the SQL Server, okay, so SQL Server, they can have the types. Okay, so the material which I already shared, no, the notes is available. Okay, so in SQL Server data types, data types. So in this data types, generally, the variety is there. That is the data type, especially for storing numbers. The data type, especially storing for string. The data types which is storing for date and time. The data types which is stored for other kind of data. Okay, for example, if you want to store for XML file means there is a data types is there. So what is mean by data types means data types which is representation for what kind of data we are going to store. Okay, for example, yes, I already told you, in student detail, student ID means that is a number data type. Sometimes we can go for the student ID is that is a string data types as well. String means alphanumerical. For example, we define the student name is City Labs underscore 1, City Labs underscore 2, like that. That is alphanumeric data types. That is called it for string data types. Okay. So this is called it for string data types. Okay, so just we'll move on to the practical session. Before move on to the practical session, so anybody having any question? Yes, anybody having any question? Yes, anybody having any question?
No. So far, no.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so in practical session, so for time being, okay, because this is a 2-hour session only, if I go for installing software and then work on the software means it will be take quite a long time. Okay, so at the moment I go for using online compiler, but later I will explain where we are going to download the that is SQL Server, and then I guess how we are going to download the SSM under. Okay, so now, so what software I am going to using means I am going to using the online compiler only. Okay, so there are plenty of online compiler is there. Just you can go for browser. Okay, so just you can type SQL online compiler. If you type SQL online compiler means so it automatically diverted to the URL. Okay, so in this URL, just you can go for using SQL light online compiler. Even you can using for the online SQL editor as well. Program is also you can able to use. Okay, so let me go for a SQL light online compiler. Okay, so this is a URL. So why I choose this means this URL which consists of variety of and that is a relational database management system. Okay, let me share this to what's okay chat box itself. Okay, let me stop sharing first. One minute. Let me stop sharing first, and then I will share for only this window. SQLite. Chat box. So at the end of the session, I will share the attendance form to everybody. So please fill up the attendance form. Okay. Let me share this online compiler to WhatsApp group as well. Okay. So I already shared the URL for a SQLite online compiler. This is an online compiler. Whenever you are going to creating any queries means, because the SQL which consists of queries only. All the queries are built-in queries. If you know about the queries means you can able to easily to implement the query to find the solution. Okay, so now see this one, this online compiler, which consists of plenty of query. For example, SQLite, this is a one relational database management system. MariaDB, that is a one relational database. This is a PostgreSQL. This is also one kind of relational database. This is our Microsoft SQL. Okay, so everybody please click on Microsoft SQL online compiler. So the compiler, so especially the syntax is common for all the compiler. But small changes only needed for one compiler to another compiler. Okay, so everybody please connect for MS SQL online compiler. Yes, if you done means please type 1 on the chat box. Please type 1 on the chat box if successfully connected. Okay, thank you so much everybody for your prompt response. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so now, so what we are going to do means we are going to creating the queries now. So especially these queries, we are going to, through the query, we are going to communicate to the database. Okay, so in Microsoft SQL, there is a, see this left panel, there is a one default table which is available. Okay, so demo table. Like that, we can able to create our own table as well. Okay, so now what we are going to do means we are going to create a first we are going to discuss about the basic things for queries, and then we are going to creating the queries. Through the query, we are going to communicate to the database. Okay. So now what we are going to do means I am going to defining one comments. Okay. So for example, let me go for using a title over the query. So why I am going to give these titles means so I later I will refer why this query is used here. Okay. So let me go for a give the title. Title is, for example, create user table with the fields user ID, username, and password. Okay, so this is my target now. So here I put the title over the query. This is an optional one. So either you can type the table name which I am going to giving is user table like that. Okay. So for that only I am going to type the query. So create. See, when I start typing here, the compiler giving me for pop-up, that is pop-up menu will be popped out. Okay. So you can able to see the spellings for this particular query as well. Okay. So I'm going to using the create query. Create for what? So I'm going to create the table. So after that, I'm going to define the table name. For example, user TBL. Okay, so I define the table name is user TBL. So after that, I go for using the open parenthesis. So this open parenthesis, which is mentioned for what kind of columns you are going to define along with the data type. Okay. For example, I go for defining the column user ID. So after that, I go for defining the data type is integer data type. Integer data types means that is representation for numbers. So I go for storing only numbers for this particular fields. Okay. So now I am going to typing the username column. Column name is a optional one. So either you are going to defining like that. Otherwise, you can defining your own columns. That is a fields name. Okay. So here I go for using varchar. So varchar of, let me define the user name. Name is 20 like this. Okay, so after that, I go for a defining password column. So that is also varchar. So this varchar data types, which is representation for, I am going to store strings data on the particular column. Okay, strings data means which is having alphabets, numerics, white space, special symbols. Okay, so this is a representation for varchar data types. See to that in varchar data type, I mentioning 20. So the capacity, the length of each and every user should be 20 or less than 20 only. If you try to insert a greater than 20 means the system won't allow to store the particular data. So keep it in your mind always. Okay, so that's it. I enclose the parentheses. So this is a syntax for creating the table. Create keyword, table is a keyword, user table is a user defined name. You can define any name. The restriction is a starting character should be alphabet. The following may be alphabet, numeric, and then only underscore is allowed. Apart from other special symbols are not allowed. Okay. So now what we are going to do means I go for run this query. If you run the query, the table, if any error is there means it will be show the error message to you. If there is no errors means the system will be create the table. Okay. So now I am going to run the program, run the query. If I run the query, see, immediately the table is created. If I expand the tables means there is a right side left one arrow mark is there. No, if we click the arrow mark, the tables will be expanded. See the column name, user ID, username, password along with the data types, it will be displayed. Yes. So try everybody for creating this table. Yes, if you created successfully, so just press 1 on the chat box. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Sophia. Thank you, Miss Priyadarshini. Thank you, Miss Safra. Thank you, Miss Rasida. Okay, so please everybody try for this query. If anybody having any difficulty or error message receiving means just please type 0 on the text box, chat box. Let me know. Okay. 1 minute. Sitinur, Miss Sitinur, and then Mr. Muhammad. What happened to you? Safra, Najila. Okay, so if you come across any error message means don't fear about the error. Okay, so how much you face the error, that much you become familiar. Okay. So please wait. Let me. One minute. Okay. So yes, those are having error message. Let me know what. Okay. Yes, Miss Najila, can you please unmute your mic and then talk to me? So what is the error message you received? Miss Najila, Miss Safura Najila. Dear students, please respond if you come across any error message means let me know the error message.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yes, miss. Yeah, ma'am.
It's okay. I error already. I forgot to put
Yes,
the
ma'am.
dash in front.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, ma'am. There is already the object name. Okay. The object name is in the database means you try to execute the query one more time. Okay, see to that. Once the query run means the table is created. If I see my screen, if I go for run once again means I definitely receive the error message. See the error message. That means the table name should be unique one. So once I execute the query, table is created. If I execute the query against means a duplicate table cannot be created on the database. Table name should be unique one, separate one. Okay, so if you want to create one more tables means you can modify the table name. For example, use a table one like this. Yes, please try. Yes, please try everybody. Yes, Miss Dania, understand? Incorrect syntax. Okay, so we already overcome. Stream. So what kind of error message you received? Yes, Miss Dani, I want to know the error message, then only I can able to help you. Can you please unmute your mic and then talk to me? See to that the statement should be properly coded. Then only you cannot, you don't come across any error message. For example, create table. Here you can define space means white space not allowed for defining the table name or column name. So if you want to have a two word means you can go for using underscore symbol. This is not a hyphen, underscore. Okay, so that is a shift hyphen. Okay, so now after that open parenthesis, if you open the parenthesis, it should be properly enclosed. So and then here column name along with the comma operator, here varchar data type, if you open means you must enclose. Okay, so the varchar data types represents here this username which consists of string data. So the maximum length or limitation number of characters should be 20. Okay, so either you can go for storing null, otherwise up to 20 character only. Okay, so yes. So now we are going to discuss. See this table here. Table is created successfully. So now what I am going to do means I am going to drop the created table. Okay, so here dropping means I am going to removing the table. Okay, so for example, remove table, use a table from database. I am going to remove the user table now. So the remove of user tables means I am going to using the one query. So query means statements. That is a built-in statement. So the statement which I am going to using is drop query. Drop for what? I am going to drop the table. So table name is user TBL. Okay, so I already created one table which consists of 3 columns along with the data types. Now what I am going to do means I feel I don't want this table. I want to remove this table from my MySQL database. So now I am going to run this query. So before run the query, okay, so yes, before run the query, just please make this line is comment line. Okay, so after that you can go for run the query. So if you run the query means see the here left panel, the table which we already created, no, it will be removed. Yes, yes, everybody please try this query. Drop table name. If you done, let me know. If you done successfully, please type 1 on the chat box. If any error message, just type. Okay, so Okay, so here, if we go for dropping the tables means the table should be there in your database. Any zero message? Yes. Miss Noor Hudaviya. So what kind of error message do you received here? Guys, don't execute this query once again. If you execute query once again means the system will be show the error message to you. See, cannot drop the table because it does not exist on your do not have permission. That means if the table is there, you can able to remove. If the table is not there means you must receive this error message. Is anybody having any? Okay. Okay. There is an already. Okay, so there is an already table is existing means because in this environment, each and every query is separately executed. So you make this line is command line. That means if you make this line command line means then only the compiler go and execute this line only. Without command line means the compiler execute create a table itself. So if we go for create a table itself means table will be created, but we already execute the query. If I go for execute once again the query means the system is show the error message to you. The error message is the data database already available, the object. Yes. So please make this line comment double hyphen. In front of the line, you just type double hyphen. Just go for execute this line only. Okay, welcome. Okay, now, so this is a query implementation. Like that, we are going to implement the query. Okay, so now what we are going to do means, I make this a drop table line commenting. So just I uncomment the lines here, go for execute once again. That means I'm going to create this table once again. Yes, everybody, please try to do. So please make this line comment and then uncomment this line and then create the table. If we create the table, table is there. So now what I'm going to do means I'm going to insert the information on the table. Okay. Insert data to the user table. Okay, I'm going to insert the data to the user table. Okay, so now what I'm going to do means I'm going to typing one query. The query is called for insert query. Insert, so table name, values. So I'm going to insert the value. So user ID, let me go for typing the user ID is direct number. Let me give the number is 100. So username, I am going to typing the username is with the enclose the quotation mark. Okay, so single quotation a representation for string data. Okay, so for example, let me go for typing the information chi. Okay, chi tank. Okay, so just I go for typing the username is chi tank and then I go for typing the password. For example, let me type the password chi at 123. Okay, so just I enclose the parenthesis. Now what I am going to do means let me make this line is comment because I already create the table. Now I go for executing this query only. So keep it here, just try to understand for your side. So yeah, we are going to use the insert query. Insert for what? User table. So which values I am going to insert? 100, chi 10, and then chi at 1 to 3. You can give your name as well as your own password. Okay, so even you can modify the number itself. Okay, so here insert value. These are the keyword. Keywords means reserved word. The word which having the built-in meaning. If you go for implementing this word, the meanings will be implemented on the screen. Okay. So here, if I go for run the particular query, so here I'm not receiving any error message. That means data successfully inserted. Okay. So after that, what I'm going to do means I want to know about whether this data is there or not. Okay. So for example, in this situation, so I'm going to using one query. The query is called it for select query. The select queries which is used to fetching information, fetching data from table. For example, I'm going to fetching the data from user table. So the data for this purpose, I'm going to using the one query. The query is called it for select query. Select asterisk symbol from user TBL. Yes. So everybody please try to insert the data. If you done, just please type 1 on the chat box. If you have any difficulty, let me know. So keep it in your mind. So number, direct number you're going to apply. If you go for storing strings means you must type the string enclosed by quotation mark. Okay, so for that only. This quotation mark needed for varchar data types only. Okay, so now I already inserted. Now I make this line is command line. So what I'm going to do means I go for execute this query. So select the query which is used to fetching information from the table. See to that when I run the query, see the output, user ID, username, password. These are the column. See 100, 310, and then T at 1, 2, 3. So this is a way we are going to fetching information, filtering information, getting information, retrieving information. All is used for select query only. Yes, try everybody. If you done, let me know. I share the queries in the chat box as well. Yes, try for your side. Is anybody having any question? Done. Thank you so much. Okay, so those are completed this execution. So try to insert 4 more data. Yes, please try. 4 more record. 4 more users information. Yes. Done everybody? If you done means please share the queries and the chat box. Yes. So here you can go for inserting 4 more records. Okay. If you go for inserting 4 more records means, for example, different 4 insert query you can implement. Otherwise, 1 insert query, 4 row of information you can able to insert. For example, let me go for typing query here. Insert user table values. So after that, I go for just to go with the typing the information like this. So here 101. Let me go for typing node. Yeah. And then node at 123. So after that, enclose. So after that, I go for typing comma operator. Okay, so I am going to inserting few more records here. So I want to define separator row of information. So I go for putting comma at the end. So after that, I go for typing the information, second information. So like that, I go for typing the third information and then one more record. Okay, so now I go for editing information. Let me go with the another student name, Muhammad Rizwan. So here, let me go for modify Rizwan like this. And then one more student information. So Ayun Ibrahim. Okay, so just I go for Ayun Ibrahim. Okay, so just I go with the giving the password Ayun at. Okay, so now I go with one more student's information. Okay, so Hazan Safiq Hazan. Safiq Hazan Hamza. Okay, so Safiq Hamza. Just Safiq. Okay, so like this. Okay, see to there. So at the end, no need to put the comma operator. Okay, so I want to add so 4 more record with using same only one insert query. Okay, so see to that. So I go for a typing insert and then table name and then values. After that, I go for a giving the information. So already I give the information 100. Now I go with the 101, 102, 103 like this. Okay, so these are the username and then their corresponding password. Each and every row, so I put the comma operator. So without comma operator means it will generate the error message to you. So now I go for a run the query. If you run the query, the record will be insert. Okay, so incorrect syntax near to comma. Okay, wait. Let me check once again. Insert table name values. Why this in? Okay, I think. Okay, so this will work for. I think so. This SQL server. Okay, so this will be okay. Let me check with the
I think it's your line number 9 is instead of insert.
Come again.
It's, line 9. Your command is insert no T there. So I think
Yes.
that's right. Yeah.
Yes, that's the error. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so just to see. Okay, so now success. Thank you so much. So see to that. Here, I insert a multiple row of information in a single insert query. Otherwise, you can go for inserting a separate insert query as well. Okay. So everybody please try this one. See, control. So everybody please try this one. Anybody having any question? Can you able to execute? See to that I am not commenting this line. So both the query I want to execute means you can go for using a run button. Okay. So whatever query is there in that, this is one editor. This is output window. Whatever you type on that one, no, that is editor. So if you go for execute the queries means whatever statement is that is the statement which is called for query, built-in query. Okay, all the statement execute one by one. So first we already created and then we already insert one more data. So now what happened? So I go for inserting a few more records here. Okay, so keep it in your mind. If you go for execute this query once again means a duplicate record will be added. Same rows which is added for against as well. Okay. Yes. Everybody try for your side. Anybody having any question? Let me know. Okay. So done everybody. Okay. Any error message? Why my table is empty? Okay. So do you insert any information on the table? If you insert, then the table will be, the content will be there. Unable to insert the data. Okay. Why? Let me check. 1 minute. User table syntax error. I have a error message. Okay. So if you have a error message means, let me stop sharing. Those who have error message, please let me share. Let me stop presenting. Okay, those who are having a error message, please share your screen. Let me. I have SQLite error result. Okay, this is for Noor Ain. Okay, yes. Anybody having any error means, so please share your screen. Let me check. Can you able to share your screen? Incorrect syntax means there is a mistake in your statement. For that only you receive the incorrect syntax error. Dear students, if anybody having error message means, please share your screen. Let me try to settle your error. So if, okay, this is for, okay. So skill, right, syntax error. Okay, so queries didn't work. Okay, so you have it, okay. Okay, so insert query only, okay, fine. Please, maximize your window. Please maximize your window. Yes. See, okay, fine. So just to go for a MS SQL. Before that, okay, 1 minute. Before that, so just I think you are in the SQLite environment for that only. But we are trying to type the query for MS SQL. Okay. Copy all the query. Please copy all the query. Yes, copy. In the left panel, the last option is there now. MS SQL. Left panel. See, in the left panel, SQLite, manuals, last one, MS SQL. No, last one, MS SQL. Yes. Okay, so now click connection. Okay. Okay. Now paste on the queries. Okay, so now go for creating. No. Uncomment the create query line. Don't run because the table is not there. First create the table. Okay, please go to the line number 2. Please go to the line number 2. Double slash is there. No, remove the double slash. Line number 2. Remove the double slash. Okay, and then insert. Okay, fine. Okay, now you go for run the program. Execute. Run. Okay, now. Okay, so because syntax. Okay, just run. Once again you run. Let me check. Create table. Okay, incorrect symbol user like a keyword select. Okay, select star from 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 user table. Okay, do one thing. Select asterisk symbol, right? One minute. Star from user table. Okay, do one thing. Make the last line comment line number 12. Line number 12. Just put double slash in front. Put a double slash in front. Okay, now go for run the program. Run the query. One minute. My system is very small. Okay, when 1 minute, miss. 1 minute, Miss Virani. Let me check.
I think the line 9, at
Okay.
the end of the line 9, should be a comma there. At the end of the line 9,
Okay.
remove that. I think should remove that comma.
Okay. Please try.
it?
Please try. Please try. Okay. Fine. Table is created successfully. Okay. Go for insert. Okay. Go for a select statement. Okay. Now what you are going to do means you already create the table, insert the information query to both executed. Make the two line for comment, just a hyphen in front of the create query, in front of the insert query. Just type double hyphen. Okay, double hyphen. Okay, go to the line number 2. Before create, just type double hyphen. Miss Virani, go to the line number 2. Before, please type double hyphen in front of the create keyword. Hyphen. Okay, go to the line number, that is insert query is there, no? I think line number 9, right? Go to the insert query line, make the line comment. Double hyphen in front of insert. Okay, now final select query is there, no? Uncomment the line. Delete the double hyphen. Delete the double hyphen. Line number 12. I think line number 12. No. Make this line is comment. Before insert, double hyphen. Okay. Now go to the last line. Delete the hyphen. Okay. Now run the query. Okay. Finally got. Okay. Super. Okay, can you please stop presenting your screen? Okay, fine. Okay, let me share my screen once again. Okay, so now we successfully. Okay, so just Miss Virani, just please try for this few more records. I will share this query and the chat box. Okay, so if you want to remove the duplicates means you must delete entire data means and then execute the insert query only one times. Miss Virani, I already shared my insert query. Please try for this query for your side. Few more records. Okay. Now what we are going to do means, so we are going to, okay. So in this situation, yes, somebody asking, ma'am, if I go for a duplicate records means, for example, purposely, I execute insert query once again. Okay, so if I execute insert query once again means, so see the duplicate record is added here. So in this situation, so what I am going to do means, I cannot remove anything separately. Better I go for remove all the information and then go for execute insert query only one time. Okay, so now what I am going to do means, I make this line is comment. Okay, so before that, I want to insert the and I want to delete the information. Okay, so delete the information means remove data from user table. I want to remove data from user table. Okay, so for example, for that only I am going to using one query. The query is called it for delete query. So delete from, so table name. For example, our table name is user TBL. So I am going to typing this query especially, so used for removing information from the table. I want to remove because my table which consists of duplicate information. So I don't want this information. So better I go for a remove all the information from my table. So here E is missing. Delete from table name. So see to that incorrect syntax 10. Okay. 1 minute. Let me check. But I'm not having that line. Okay, let me check once again. One minute. Sometimes I will refresh my compiler. This is not this mistake. This is a error message for a something. Syntax error. Select star from user table is not correctly placed in the context of the insert operations. One minute. Oh, the mistake is happened for here. Okay, so let me make for a multi-line comment line like this. This is called for multi-line comments lines. Okay, that is a no mistake is there. Okay. So now I want to delete the information. Okay, no more record. So see to that. So let me make this line, all the lines for comments. So either you go for a double hyphen individually for separate line, otherwise you can go for using multi-line comments lines. Slash star and then star slash. Okay. So now what happened? Delete query which is used to remove all the information from my table. So whatever row of information is there means every information I want to delete means I go for using delete keyword, delete query. Okay. So yes, please try for your side and then check whether you can able to delete the information or not. Before that, make this insert query for commenting. So after that, you can try. Okay. So if you done, let me know. Okay. Super. Good job. Suppose this is a way to avoid duplication in this query implementation. But later I will tell you for one constraints, that constraint especially to avoid for duplications. Okay. So now what we are going to do means just I go for commenting this delete query. So now I go for execute this insert query once again. Okay. So just I run this query. Now my data is separate data is available. Okay. So if I go for delete this information means just to go with the delete the information. But at the moment, I don't want to delete the information. I want to have the data to filtering. Okay, so just I have this data 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. These are my information. So see to this query, if I want to delete all the data means you can apply for delete query here. So remove all data from my user table. But I don't want to remove all the data. I want to remove only particular data. Okay. So if I go for remove only particular data means we can go for using one class. The class is called it for var class. So this var class especially used for remove the data based on certain condition. Okay, so for example, in this user table, I want to remove the 100th user information. Okay, so for example, let me go for giving the title, remove data from user table. Okay, so based on the condition. Okay. So now what I'm going to do means I go for typing delete query, delete from user table. But here I go for apply the var class. This var class especially I want to remove the students details whose ID is 103. Okay, so see this example especially I go for a remove only this Ayun Ibrahim's information. Okay, so the key which I give the conditions here, user ID. Even you can go for giving username, even you can giving for a user password as well. Okay, so here after var class, this var class especially used for a certain conditions. Okay, so now what I'm going to do means I go for execute this query. If I execute the query, okay, incorrect syntax, delete from table name. Why? Let me check. Incorrect syntax. Okay, let me check previous line itself. Mm, Okay, 1 minute. Let me check whether the data is there or not first. Data is available. No, incorrect syntax. Please wait. Let me check once again. This is a This is a challenge which I always using for online compiler. Sometimes it will be refresh the page. Sometimes it will be throwing unwanted error message as well. Okay, so yes, see to that. So delete from table name where user ID which is equal that particular conditions, checking conditions data. Okay, so here based on the user ID, I go for remove the information. See to that. After execute this query, the 103rd user ID's information is removed. Okay, so yes, please try for your side. So keep it in your mind. If you define user ID is integer, direct number is enough. If you define, for example, let me go for giving one more delete query, delete from user based on the name means TBL. So here where username which is equal, let me go for a defining. I want to remove cheatang's information means so let me go for typing the information like this. Based on the name, I am going to remove. Okay, so here see to that here. I go for run the query. So, oh, sorry, TBL. Okay, see to that. Based on the name, I go for remove means here you must be mentioning the strings as a within quotation mark. Yes. So try for your side, everybody. You can able to execute or not. If you done, please type 1 on the chat box. Is anybody having any question? Okay, super. Good job. Okay, so now what we are going to do means, yes, let me go for this select query. So this select query especially select fetching all data from the user table. Okay, so I don't want to fetch all the data. So I want to fetch only the username and then password information. So I want, so see to that this asterisk symbol which representation for all columns of information. But I don't want to display all columns of information. So I want to fetching only username and then password column. Okay, so here fetching only user name and password data from user table. Okay, so I want to fetch only username password information. So I go for replacing asterisk symbols to username and then password. Username, comma, password from user table. Okay, so see to that this query. So I don't want to fetch all column of information. I want to fetch only particular column of information. Means replacing asterisk symbol to particular columns of data. Okay, so if we run the coding, so both select statement is there, incorrect syntax near to. Why? Let me check once again. See, two times I want to execute. Okay, so just I go with the run the query. See the output which I got. So username, password only, not user ID column. So if you want to display specific column of informations means so before from keyword you can mentioning the what are the columns data you are going to display. Okay, so try for your side. Yes, try for your side. Yes. So just to go for little modification for the previous query. So I want to fetch only the username password column based on the condition. I want to fetch the 104th user's name and then password only. So here you are going to apply the var class. So var class which always defined for certain conditions, certain decisions, certain specific data. Okay, so try for your side. Okay, anybody having any question? Dear participant, do you have any questions? Means please unmute your mic and then ask to me. Okay. Okay, don't have any question. Okay, fine. So now, okay, thank you so much everybody for your wonderful response. Okay, so coming back here. So now what I am going to do means, so far we create the table, insert the record, delete the record, and then dropping the table and then selecting the information from the table, everything we so far discussed. So now I want to modify the existing data. For example, I want to modify, so here suffix password. Okay, so see to that suffix 546 double that is a cap symbol and then ampersand symbol I give. So I want to modify this password to suffix 123. So I go for using the update query. Okay, so that is used for here modify password data based on the condition. Okay, so because so if I whenever you go for a defining conditions means a var class only. Without a var class means all the data, all the row of informations is modified. The particular password column. Okay, so now I am going to use the one query. The query is called for update. So update table name and then set new set column for which is equal new value. For example, suffix 123. See to that previously the password is suffix 546 like that. Now I modify to suffix 123. So after that var class, so just I go for a checking any condition, user ID, username like this. Okay, so let me go for apply user ID. This is a unique identification for the user. Okay, so now I go for typing the user ID, data is 104. Okay, so now I go with the fetching the information. So just to see the output here. One minute. See the output. So 104 and then the password is modified. Okay, so this is a way we can go for modify the data, which is already there in your table. Okay, so try for everybody. If you done, please type 1 on the chat box. Update table name. This is a syntax. Okay, so these are the built-in queries. So generally in computer world, generally refer for don't by heart the program. But here SQL Server, it is different. If you memorize the query, then only it will be easy for implementation. So best, it is not quite tough for the queries. It will be around 100 to 150 queries only. Okay, so if you know the syntax, it is easy for handling data for your database. Okay, so yes, everybody, anybody having any question? Now, okay, so far we done for create query. The query which implemented, no, there is a type of language in SQL Server. So this query especially for data query language. Shortly they can called it for DQL. Select queries under data query language. This insert, delete, update is there. No, this is come under data manipulation language. So you are going to manipulate the data to the database. Insert, delete, update. This is a DML query. And then here, the query which having no create, drop, alter. So remove, these are the data definition language queries. Okay, so this is a, and then one more query is there, transaction control language queries. These are the 5 variety of language which is support for a SQL Server. This 5 variety only entire SQL Server. Okay, so coming here. Okay, so now just to see one more exercise here. Okay, so just you can go for, I will give one exercise. Okay. Create employee table with the fields employee number or employee ID. So employee name and then employee resignation and then employee salary. Okay. And implement following. Okay, so first one, what we are going to do means insert any 5 employees records. Okay, second. Okay, so try everybody. This is a task which I given to everybody. So create employee table. The choice for a employee table, that is the name of the table, is your wish. Either you can go for employee table, employee underscore table, EMP table, EMP underscore table, your wish only. Okay. So these are the column. So just see to that you can define employee number is either varchar data type or integer data type. Name, varchar data type. That is a designation, varchar data type. Salary, you can go for either integer data type or float data type. Your wish only. Okay, so try everybody to create the table. So after creating the table, run the query. After successful execution, go for inserting any employee's information. Okay, so after that, you can go for do the deletion operation. Delete employee whose name is Muhammad. So see to that, this is a second implementation. So I want to remove Muhammad employee's information from my employee table. So if you go for remove means, please try to insert Muhammad information within this file. Okay, so here after that. Okay, so after that, third one. So update or modify. Update 100, okay, not 100. Update employee salary to 4,000, whose job like engineer. Okay, so see to that. If the employee is engineer means, please try to modify the salaries 4,000. So please insert engineer employee as well. Okay, so generally, before implementing, go through the problem first. Based on the problem, data should be insert. Once data is there means you can able to successfully implement for every query. Okay, so fourth one. Okay, so select, otherwise generate report for the employee whose salary greater than 2,500. I want to filter the employees whose salary is greater than 2,500. Okay, so you give the employee salaries below 2,500 as well as above 2,500. Then only you can able to generate and then see the difference. Okay, so now fifth one is to fetch employee name along with salary information. Okay, see to that, I want to fetch only employee name, all employee name along with the salary information only. So employee name and then salary data only is enough. Okay, so that's it. This is a task given to you. Please everybody try. So in this one, you can first execute one by one query. Don't type all the query, execute one shot. It is a very difficulty, because if you come across any error message, so you stuck on the particular question. So better create the query, run. Insert the information, run. After that, fetch all the information. And then go for delete query, and then fetch all the information, check. And then go for update query, and then check. Like that, you can execute one by one query. So because why I always given the preference to like this, practice to my students means if we have the output receiving for each and every implementation means you also becoming confident. Okay, that is a automatic curiosity will be created for a go for implementing next problems solution, finding the solution for that only. Okay, so try for your side. If you done first query, that means create successfully for employee table means just please type 1 on the chat box. If you type second query, please type another one on the chat box. If you type third implementation, type 1. Okay, so please. So if you stuck any position means let me know. Yes, please try for your side. So take a 5 minutes time. 1 minute is enough for implementing one query. Okay, so 5 queries implementation, 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, so take a 6 minutes time. So implement this. Okay, so later I will help you to find the solution for this as well. Yes, please try everybody. So take a 5 to 6 minutes, try to complete, and then we'll discuss again. Is everybody done? Having any question? Is anybody having any question? Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Ms. Noor. Thank you, Mr. Janani. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Thank you, Ms. Dania. Thank you, Mr. Sawonibong. Okay. Yes. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so those are done. So good job, everybody. Keep it up. Okay, so those are not done. So I already done for my screen. Let me share my queries to everybody. Once you done your query, please share your queries to our WhatsApp group. Okay, so those are done the query. Please share your queries to our WhatsApp group. Let others also benefited. So keep it in your mind always the way of developing program or developing a this kind of one is vary from one programmer to another programmer. Okay, so don't fear about this candidate is do like this. This is a correct way. So I am doing wrong way. Don't think like that, because by God grace we have the uniqueness. The way of thinking is different from others one. So you can go with your own style of development for any kind of programming. Okay, so yes, is it my screen is visible to everybody? Yes. Is it here? My screen is visible to everybody? Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Okay, now see this first employee table. Okay, so query. So I go for creating one query. The query which is used for creating table with following columns. Okay, so here I define the table name is employee. Why I define the table is employee means once you saw the table name itself, what kind of data you are going to storing on the particular table. Okay, so when I saw the table name itself, oh, this is a employee's information I am going to store this particular table. This is a naming conversion. Okay, so coming here, so here I go for defining employee number. Here I use one constraints. The constraint is called for primary key constraints. So before that, we have the difficulty for storing duplicates values in that. But the uniqueness for employee is a number. There may be a same name for more than one employee, same job for more than employee, same salary for a salary scale for a more than employee. But the uniqueness is a identification for the employee. So such kind of identification I define as a primary key column. The benefit of primary key column is the primary key column not allow for duplicate information. For example, if we define the employee number is 1 means second employee you cannot give 1 again. So it should be different one. And then one more thing, null information cannot be inserted on the particular column. So there is a restriction for the primary key. You can define primary key for only one column in the table. So major advantage for this primary key means if you define one table with the primary key means that is considered as a parent table. So you can refer the informations to some other table. This is a benefit for the primary key. So generally, in order to have the data integrity purpose, make sure every relations databases, the data should be there. Okay, for example, I have the in my organization, employee personal information, employee salary information. So employee KPI information is there. If one person is relieving from organization means the person information is removed from all the supporting tables as well. Okay, suppose the person table is removed for only personal information, not salary tables means the salary is credited for even though they resign the job. Okay, so it cannot be supposed like that. This is integrity. Okay, so and then data duplication. Won't allow, your system won't allow for duplicate information. So this is a restriction for this primary key. So primary space key. Okay, so after that, just name, I go for using varchar data type. So job title, varchar data type, salary. So previously we have that is a integer. Integer means whole number. For example, 10,000, 2,000, 4,000 like that. If I go for a 10,000 point, that is a decimal point, and then 10,000 decimal point 20, like the decimal precisions I go for handling means you can go for using float data type. Okay, so if you go for adding employee date of joining means you can go for adding date data type. These are the variety of data type. Okay, so now, so first implementation is inserting any 5 information. So in this 5 informations, I add Muhammad information as well as engineer's information, because further question I want to implement this too as well. Okay, so these are the 5 informations, 5 unique records which I given here. Suppose if I go for implementing any duplications information, otherwise null informations on the particular column means the system will be show the error message to you. Okay, so this is a insert query. So after that, see the delete query. I want to delete the Muhammad employee's information. So based on the employee, I go for delete. So similar. So I want to update all the engineers' salary to 4,000. So based on the job of the job, I go for a modify the employee salary. Okay, so and then one more thing, I want to fetch all the employees whose salary is greater than 2,500. Similar, I go for selecting employee name along with the employee salary. So it will be display like this. Okay, so these are the implementation for the query. Okay, so I share this to everybody. Please try for your side. Have a reference, don't copy paste. Okay, have a reference for your one. Those are done. Okay, great job, everybody. Those are not completed, please have a reference for this one. Okay. So this is a basic information which I shared for you, everybody. A lot of SQL Server is like ocean. Okay, so lot of concept, lot of security. So data analytics with using SQL Server means so that is a great job, great opportunities for today. Okay, so data analytics using a SQL Server, system administrator. Okay, so these are the most wanted job for if you know any one of the databases means not only I focus for SQL Server, you can familiar for any one of the databases means so this is a one good opportunity, job opportunity current. But current trends they can mainly focus for data analytics. So this is a one opening for a do analysis. Analysis means we are going to finding information from the tables. For example, so far we play with only 5 records. Just imagine if our system having 5 millions of records means so finding is difficulty. If you know the syntax and then if you know how you are going to filtering the data means so this is a one good opportunity for everybody, job opportunity. So another thing is whenever we can go for do any projects means front end back end is there. Front end means that we can be able to see the designing and that. Back end begin. So our data is storing, retrieving in modification, everything is there. So the back end is the support for like this kind of a relational database management system. Okay, so and then one more thing, this SQL Server is more flexible. Okay, so even here we use the online compiler. Similar, there is a software which is available. Just to go for a browser and then type SQL Server download. If you go for SQL Server download means So the page will be diverted. There are two versions there. One is a developer expression edition. Expression edition you download. After downloading the expression edition, at the end of the download, it asks if you want to if you want to download SSMS. That is a SQL Server Studio Management. There is a one environment like this. So we have the buttons, we have the some ribbons, and then menus and all. If we click the icons, it will be implemented. Okay, so there is a editor, and then this is a one integrated SSMS is a one integrated software. Whenever we can go for creating any query means we need editor. So if we go for run the queries means we need the compiler. So that both will be combined together. That is called it for IDE. Okay, so you can go for installing software and then executions as well. Okay, so even if you want to have a reference notes and then study material means Microsoft, this is a Microsoft product. So go for Microsoft learning part. In that, there is all the notes with the example, with the live example, with the support for the communities available. Just you can go for refer from this one. And then if you want to have the Microsoft certifications means, yes, in the Microsoft website itself, so there is a learning path and then practice and then certifications, everything you can have and then get the certification. But the certification is like a few, I think, I'm not sure, but it is around $125 like that. Okay. So if you want to have the knowledge means just go for enhance your knowledge as well. Okay, so this 2 hours I can able to help you to explain what are the basic things which is having in the SQL Server. Okay. Okay, so yes, that's it for today's question. Okay, anybody having any question? Yes, anybody having any question?